Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mindseyebyjenpeck, and today is July 10th, and it is the black full moon, so that's why I'm burning a little bit of incense right now. Just doing some clearing and cleansing and some grounding. But basically, all you need to know is that everything is fine and dandy on this show for B@B, where we're going to talk about a little bit more like we usually do if you've ever been here on the first time, the occult, magicians, and witchcraft. But basically what I did was I took some elderberries and I took some jasmine and I took some lavender, I took some dragon's blood and I took some copal. And basically what I'm doing, at least for this house and at least in my neck of the woods just a little bit, is kind of like calming and settling down because the black moon really is coming in through on a way to a type of cut. It's like it changed, which is like normal for at least planets and stars, where where they do their orbit and the way they do their trajectory around, it's going to change, which is really rare. Like I said, with the Lionsgate portal, it really did open up earlier than usual. And when that happens, that means a fated like ill return. And when a fated ill return means like there's something documented that when these huge events happen, you can't actually get anything done because like everyone is disturbed by energy. So some people may actually be at home resting a little bit more. But let's look at the runes. As far as it goes for like the occult, it really is like a stand firm still. And when it comes to magicians, we are laying low. And when it comes to like witchcraft, we're doing this. We're taking our like water and then we're going to charge it. Even if it's like cloud cover, you can still charge it. You really can with the crystals. So let's look at the poplar woodworms. Let's see. Here we go. Basically, Lego, it's going to flow through the energy today. And when I see this and I see Degas, it really is like a flower, like a paper flower. And then when I see this and I say, it really will come in strong. And it really has something to do with a crisscross to a gift to a phrase. You can literally see that. Yes. So whoever, yes, that is live. Yes, that is live. I'm just burning incense. So when I see this, excuse me, D-O-N-A. So basically all you need to know is that when you do this and you come onto my show and you say, fuck you, it really is a D-O-N-E. So when you actually see it like that and I go, goodbye, you can't even believe how heinous it is. Done. So basically what you need to know is this. Band. You can do your own moderations. But literally, that was live. Done. Like rude, absolutely rude. But that is the state of grace of mind that most of the public has gotten into. They just don't care. So when I see it and I go, you didn't even get in with that comment, it really goes to show when it comes to at night. I would say, as going back to the topic of the fuck full moon today, it would literally be, they would say around 5, I say around 9:30 p.m. That's when it really is going to come to show. When I look at this and I say, look at this. Gift. It means a gift. Again, a gift. Why night gift? A night gift. When I see this and I see canoe, which is like a gift beyond, I feel like it's something energy gifting. When I see this, power, yes, rejuvenated. When you see this, you see defensive, yes. When it comes to the full moon, literally you have to say it is true. It really is true. So as I go and I think about, and I'm trying to make myself the best way possible, because it is hot. And no, it's not because my kitchen's on fire. You have to look at this and say, birth, Rakana. It's a type of wood. Like actual, like if you look at the trees, it's like alluding to the wood. When I see this, it's like a faded luck. Like you actually feel lucky watching Wheel of Fortune. And when I see this, I have to say, holy cow, like, is it still like hidden? Is it a game? It is a hidden game. But when I see it and I go wealth, when I do instinct, when I do living, has to do with like something about like acid reflux. So when I see this warrior, yep. When you do this, riding around, something about like money or everything. You can't even see it through. When I see this and I say faded, yeah, it was just like literally put into people. Just riding around, they're just going to put it right into you. Trolling, yeah, nasty. When you see this, joy to cause havoc. And then again, this ruin is going to come out, riding around, torching, ashing things, for lack of a better term. So when I look at it and I say it all plays out, and you go, no, basically it's true. What you need to do is this. It really is like coming back to imposter syndrome, to masking. So let's talk about that for BFB. When it comes to actually like imposter syndrome, it's a type of stolen identity through witchcraft. And it's usually dirty witchcraft. So I think I have said it before, and we'll say it again. It really is heinous to the point where it went to drugging. That's what I'm saying as a psychic, and the way that the energy burns and flows out. So the way that it looks at it, you see how the way like it's like tornado. I would say more weather storms. It's usually so point blank when you actually do burn and you read it through the smoke. So let's do a little bit of smoke scrying. Devil, wheel, green, $1 bill. You do 10. You do 3, 3, 4, 3, 4. It's like almost like an inmate number, and you look at Director Comey Pryor, and you're like, what did he put in the sand? You can't see like fire through. No. Are you today there with me in fire spirit? Be free later on today, 2 p.m. gold, another time. So when I see this and I say, is that actually mediumship? That's actually like mediumship. That's rare, like through smoke scrying. Rare. Now, when I look at it and I say, absolutely, read a little bit more through, I see crystal quartz. I see like actual like chunks. I see amethyst. I see a rose quartz. But then I actually see armalite, which is rare. That's rare. Usually that's a really hard stone. It's just as bad as obsidian and tourmaline. The way it's like settling on through, I would say it's like a pour out somewhere. I see Ireland. I see Australia. I see Germany, Spain, and Argentina. There's something like impedance with them that's going haywire that they can't even do about. And when they can't even do about, you can't even see about. And you can't even see about a side. You can't even see about a side. So basically, when you can't see about a side, you sit there and like, I can't even put my words out there. I don't even have the right to be silent. I have to be silent. I have no right to 2 forms of the spelling. That's heinous. You can't even put your 2 cents in. So when you see it, when you do 2 cents, you actually take 2 pennies to 2 pence. To actually, like, I saw it and I heard it. You can't even do that. You just sit there and watch. You can't even believe it. What kind of heinous crime is going on right now? It's like it's a human jugging. First we had like money jugging. Now it's human jugging. Where did that come from? What is human jugging? I'd have to say there's something about like Julius Caesar. I'm seeing Julius Caesar with like betrayal from the front. like that. It's like they put two coins and they walk up the steps of like the Senate or the Republic, and because they have to pay a toll, and then they go, oh my God, it's right there. It's right there. Holy cow. Justice. There it is. What do we need to know? Communication. It is a victory, spelled correctly. It's already been foreseen. Like you've been sitting there, you've been waiting. It does alleviate a lot. This one is saying a lot, that type of energy, the way the card feels. It is a breaking up of partners to marriages, to contracts, to businesses, because of certain like sharp endings. So sharp endings, untimely deaths, anticipated deaths. It happens in everyone's life. When you see this, here it is. It really does. This is true, like lovers. It is true. Everything about what that lovers card embodies, to where there was like a picture on the table. And when it comes to like strength, it really comes out, because there had to be like money. There's like a lack of securement everywhere, in every which way and form. So when I see this, no contracts, there's no like anything where you can even get it in like a court of law right now. So that's like like I said, where did that come from out of my mouth? Lord, let's look at the poker cards. So as I would say, when it comes to masking, it like when I see masking, I actually see the way that it is. Like if you look at surveillance, and they're kind of blurred out, which is really rare. Really rare. It really is like an old-fashioned pawn. But how to prove it? You literally have to actually burn it out. You got to do a little bit of magic. You don't need a curse, a spell, a hex, or a charm, or an enchantment. You just need to clear the energy. So here comes the North State Hospital, because that's still settling down after that burnt down again. It is free floating. It is a load of fun. It is French fries to poutine. There's a type of like juvenile cut. I see like the adolescents. I see teenagers. I see like a form of juvenile delinquency there, that they were criminally insane. 1968. So when I see this and I see the King of Hearts, I go, there is something about this with the Jack of Hearts to the Three of Spades. You really can't even do it hard enough. That's medium shit. Like you can't do it hard enough. Can't get through hard enough. How would that be the buck moon today? Can't get hard enough. Can't get your paperwork done. You just can't. When I see this and I see the Three of Clubs and I see the Nine of Hearts to the Ten of Clubs, it's like a spade east and west to north. And it had to do with like clicks, as you would see in high school. So as it would be occulted, it depending on what the exposure was at that time, it actually would be like hard. When you see this, you go, oh my God. You can't even see. Nine of Diamonds, scrying a little bit through smoke. It's like flights, towers. It always seems to be a problem with flying. Today the issue is flour, cooking flour with magicians, breaking bread per bar. So old tradition, some people are actually going on deployment or anything of that nature. You can leave a comment but that was really rude. So when I see this and I see it through, it goes two through. All right. There is a lack of judgment about breaking bread for war. I see there's no teamwork in it. Usually that's cultural, especially with the Jewish community, Hebrew community. When you see this, there's no justice around it right now. And then all of a sudden you go, I think we need to split some things up. When you see this and you go to the Hierophant, it is a type of source. It's written already. Don't shoot the messenger. When you look at this and you say the Six of Swords is pronounced in reverse, it literally means that it's ill. It's ill. There's a type of like actual souring. Souring, SOWERING, souring. That comes in strong. That they actually like down to the pig to pork level. They can't get rid of it. Here it is. Literary Witches Oracle. What else do we need to know? There it is. Well, a calling without others. That's what it says. When I see this cauldron, it usually means something. Creativity, surprising yourself. There's something about this moon that will surprise a lot of people on what they're capable of doing in a positive way. A calling to war. Yep, you can make your water for war. Definitely. Akashic Tarot. Oh my gosh. Okay. So basically, there is this sitting and resting and like waiting and meditating for today. I wouldn't say snuffed out when I see this card, which is the light of the world in reverse. There's no diversity, which is odd. Are you sure? Don't look at color or colors. That literally means something. Don't look at colors if you have colors. Loving elementals in reverse. Minerals. I'd have to say something about mineral deficiency. Point blank. There is no forceful nature. There is like imbalance, but I feel by the next like 10 to 12 days, it's not really written. You just do it. You just end up doing it. Here it is. Physicians. I feel like people are actually looking to their doctor like, am I crazy? Will, wisdom, and mind. They're looking right at the justices, I have to say. It's like almost putting it right into you. That's how harsh it is. Right there. Harsh. Here we go. What else do we need to know on BFA? What else? Now going back to occult, I'd have to say, when you're looking at it as imposter syndrome and you're looking at it as masking syndrome and you're also looking at it as what we know as a form of crime today, I would have to say there is a type of lock. It's not a hoka toka loka mocha smoke or anything like that, where you would go and sit at and someone who was older would call it at a speakeasy to a honky tonk. There really isn't anything, but there is something about gathering together in July that help like settle and bring in like winds. They don't have to be skilled to actually do a lock on something to secure money or balance or like anything about health, because there's like a lot of financial loss right now where you can't even talk about it. This is what this card is saying right now. You can't even talk about it. When I look at this and I see the Three of Wands, you go, you can't even like look up at the sky or like take a look out and go, no, there's really nothing going on. A getting together, celebration together. There we go, Starseed Oracle. What else? What else? What else? What else? Pine. What do we need to know about the wood pine? Frequency and sound. It does. It amplifies nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. Today you want to try to get out as much as you can if you can tolerate it. And then literally pace yourself out. Here it is. So I say this isolation, physical connection, community, all forms of the meaning of that. Even up to people who are, homebound, but they're okay. They can get out. They can drive to a degree. None of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. Yeah, there's something about this that will come out. Another like moon cycle. Mother's milk, birth as a portal, deep love. I'd have to say something about like food intolerances, like dairy intolerances, gluten intolerances. Pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. A lot of people who have been like survivors, so they call themselves, or the dark side, or those who have been around heavy energy, to the magicians, to anyone who does witchcraft. Literally, they have a lot of like sensitivities, but it's really not a weakness. When I see this bringing harmony and balance, they literally will in the next 2 months that I am foreseeing. When I see this, pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature, it is true. It is true. I'm seeing in 2 months, but you're really not going to see a whole lot of results from their work until the next year, because it's going to take time. There it is. Play it in order. What else do we need to know? All right. There's something about coming in, about like a marriage coming in. When I see this, I see you'll hear it through like all forms of communication. Like I see it on the TV and I hear it through the radio. Someone got married. When I see this lightning boy and I see a sacred union, it has to do with like a type of like is quick. Like replenish. Something about being replenished. This moon and magic and burning and scrying and meditating and doing everything that you usually do. All right. Something about telepathy that they want us to know. I would feel like ancestors, those who do channeling, sound codecs, you can almost hear it a little bit if you're doing EVPs. Merope. So let's talk about that. An EVP. An EVP is something of true sound noise that comes through when you can't actually pick up on anything else, even like tarot rooms, psychic mediumship, but it like the frequency is so low that you actually have to tone it down on the EVP. When you do it and you're actually listening through, you have to say how low did it actually go? Usually those who, like, it's usually like residual artifact from those who have been alive or those who are like went to the afterlife. They're usually not there doing mediumship. Unveiling, you could probably hear a little bit of EVPs tonight, but not much. Not like September, October, in November. A little bit more cleansed out with feminine energy, but there's something still that really, really hurts. Really, really hurts. I see floods, the natural disasters. Let's like put it right together. Natural disasters and those we love. What do we need to know about the buck moon and how is it going to bring in a little bit better energy? I'm hearing walking up the steps. You'll see it like walking up the steps. It'll make sense. You can't even believe it. 8 of Pentacles means there was like no coins on the table, but I hear it a DUN and there was no securement. I hear like, did you really do that walking out the door? And then I see like a type of struggle and then it really, really hurts. That's the 5 of Wands. That's the 3 of Swords. And then you see the 3 of Wands and you go, you gotta be crazy on how point blank it is. It really was like a throw under the bus for the rest of society of this type of trickery. I don't feel like it's political, like you'd call it out like on Autopen or anything of that nature. But he does have the right to remain silent, the doctor. Let's look a little bit more. A dud, a deadbeat, dad, a bolt, a wrench, a screwdriver, like a type of rose, a white, a red, a pink, like all in the petal to a pencil. When I see the 4 of Wands again, like a community gathering, normal this time of year, like we're having a picnic, having a concert. Daughter of Wands, it literally means it came in like fiery through. Now let's talk about how we were talking about yesterday, Pentacle on Pentacle magic, and why it's not good right now to do that because of water season. It's because of flow. So this is it. So Tarot of Sacred Kingdoms. Why just be gentle? Because the moon energy is more than enough. Here we go. So basically all you need to know is that when someone takes something as simple as black salt with frankincense, with myrrh, with like dandelion root or dandelion leaf, it creates hard energy. The magic, what makes it a CK, is actually the spark of your energy that you cast it out with. When you cast it out, like, is the air thin? That's all you need to know. So is your energy hard? Because you have to put yourself into almost like a standstill matchup. And when you cast it out, did it hit hard? Did it flow through? Pentacle on pentacle through easy wind current. It really, depending how this is, you know, you have the full card with it. You're going to have a good journey starting or a bad journey starting, but it's definitely going to be a new journey in your life, depending on how you do it. The Wheel of Fortune. It really has to do with a cycle of luck. So you have to have a degree of instinct and you have to have a degree of intuition down to actually like pinch measure, like a pinch of salt. You have to be able to feel exactly what it is before you actually start doing this type of magic. When you see this, it will end like it ends immediately because they are receptive. You don't like there's no justice though. Well, what kind of justice are you looking for through the buck moon and everything else? Money, again, new like job offers, everything on the table, like we've been reiterating. But in reality, when you see the Page of Pentacles, that's when they start actually taking things away and say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. So the Four of Swords in reverse would be absolute uprest. Uprest used to mean in the 20s, 30s, and 40s that they would sit up and stand up and rest and close their eyes, up, rest, which means they're being hyper vigilant. Now, with everything being said, and here I am, I'm trying to calm the energy down because it's coming in a little too hard, at least in this house. Let's do the Animal Spirit Oracle. Here we go, right here. Buffalo. All you need to know is that it is a type of gentleness that comes in. When you look at this buffalo's eyes, you got to be gentle. And you just got to look at like everything kindly and carefully and softly. Because what that animal will tell you intuitively by looking into their eyes, any animal today, it literally is just calm down. Like everything is okay. You just need to rest later. Rest. Rabbit, all hearing. Rabbits hear really low to the ground. When you see this, there is something. When I see this hyena, it actually is point blank to air energy. When I see the owl, it's more water. It is a degree of alchemy to the elements, but it really is not truly the alchemist, because when this golden egg comes out, the alchemist is going to lock it and say, nope, halt, stop. Dolphin. I have to say something about like even adult, like trying to just play like a video game, a fun video game. Here it is. Lastly, let's do the Gold Tarot. What else do we need to know that we haven't looked at? Saturn is crazy. Saturn is crazy. Big Dipper, he'll show. Little Dipper, he'll show. Orion will show. Let's say what else? Capricorn, solid. We've been through this before. Whatever happens today in like 24, 48 hours, we've been through this before. That's all you need to know. I'd say watch the media. We've been through this. I see protests, and that's all you need to know. So with that being said, any questions or concerns, leave a like, a comment, a share, an email. It's greatly appreciated. Any issues, go ahead and leave an email. Classes on Patreon. A subscribe, a like is great also, and we will talk to you soon. Have a good day, everyone.